Good evening, folks. Thank you for coming by and spending some time with me. You know, you are my people, and I love you. I always want you to be the big three. I want you healthy, I want you happy, and I want you safe. That's right, I do. Tonight, we are going to take a look at Anderson Valley's bourbon-barrel-stout. Malt beverage aged 6 months in bourbon barrels. Kind of scares me when they say malt beverage, because it makes me think of Old English. If you don't know what that is, you should count your lucky stars. Ball horning. Okay. All right. You know, we've covered that one before. We've done their beers before. I like their beers. They're actually really good. They're out of Cali. A luxurious stout with fine bourbon character. Aged for 3 months in bourbon barrels. This luxurious stout has a deep ebony hue and a beautiful mahogany head. The woody, vanilla-like notes imparted by the barrels mingle with the aromas of fresh baked bread, toffee, and espresso. And envelop the rich chocolate and roasted barley flavors with a fine bourbon character. With an exceptional balance in drinkability, this beer is the closest thing to an even-day bourbon barrel-aged stout everyday bourbon barrel-aged stout the world has ever seen. That's because some of the really more high-end ones go for $30 and $40 for 16 ounces. Yeah, I'm not making the money I used to, otherwise we'd be drinking those. But I'm not making the money I used to. Welcome to Biden's Whala. Anyway, the ABV is going to be 6.9. The IBUs are 14. The calories are 231. The availability is year-round. For an ingredients list, the hops are Chinook and Northern Brewer. The malts are Pale, 2-Row, Crystal, 40L, and 80L. Roasted barley, Munich, chocolate, oats. And the yeast is house yeast. The glassware is a pint glass or a snifter. And the food pairings, beef sliders with caramelized onions. That works. Pulled pork tacos. Yeah. Beer float with vanilla bean ice cream. No. Smoked Gouda. Sure. Aged cheddar. Never I can. I'm good with just about everything on there except for the moron who puts ice cream in beer. But you do you. You can order for delivery from Drizzly or Bevmo. Okay. Well, we got that crap out of the way, so you know what happens now. We crack. We pour. Temp. SRM. And we play music to piss off ScrewTube. And tonight's musical selection is from a grape band that broke up, because apparently all grape bands break up. I never did get a chance to see them. I really wanted to, but unfortunately, life is what happens while you make other plans. This is Concrete Blonde, and they're doing Hendrix cover of Castles Made of Sand. I think Culto would approve, but sadly, our friend Culto has not been popping in of much. Haven't heard from him in months. Pity. Good fellow, really like him. Anyway, if you don't want to listen to the music, just skip ahead 2 minutes, but we're gonna do 2 minutes of music to piss off ScrewTube, because it always pisses him off and it makes me laugh. Here we go. Expecting a bit more head out of that. that could be why. So she's running 44, very bottom of the acceptable range. But we'll see what she's got. I'm just going to stand by what I always say, which is a beer this dark needs to be drank warmer than 44 to 48. This is a dark, dark beer. Battery's almost dead. You get better light. Enjoy the music. Has a little more juice. Good band, good song. Nice, mellow, smooth. Kind of like what I'm hoping this beer is going to be. I was a little upset that the head did not pronounce better, but she is cold. So, scusi. Let's get an initial going on here, and then we'll warm her up a bit and see if she actually opens up when we get her up into that 50 zone. Salute. Wow. Really nice. Thinner and not as full as I would have expected. She came in, did a beeline, so right across the upper palate, very tip of the tongue, back of the throat, and down, gone. Psh, gone. Now, she's dirty, but that was fast, man, and I am not expecting anything this dark, especially in a stout, to run that fast. That's my main bitch with Guinness. Guinness is so thin for a stout, I have no idea why people drink it. It's not what I like. And I know there's a lot of people who are like, we can do this. Well, there was a lot of people like, Bud Light. So where that went. Incidentally, they're all owned by the same giant global homo, and global homo, of course, means global homogeneous or global homogeneity. Overlords who hate you and want you to die. That's why they feed you their poison. I'm not saying the beer's poison, just saying the ingredients they make it with tend to be questionable. Anyway, it's nice, and the flavor is really, really good. While it does have those, it tastes like bourbon, dude, but it's not boozy. Odd. I know. Everything else is basically masked at this temperature. You're not really getting a whole bunch of toffee, you're not getting chocolate, you're not getting bread. You basically get bourbon. But it's tasty bourbon. So, we're going to pause. I'll come back in a couple of minutes and we'll let this warm up a little bit. I'll let you know how it goes once she blossoms and opens like a flower. Alrighty, folks. Been a couple of minutes, so let's get a new temp. Now, remember, I never vetted this thing. because I'm a lazy slacker. And back in the beginning, when this was just a somewhat more than it is now seat of the pants operation, we're looking at 53 now. Okay, so 53 is probably a good range. This dark 55 wouldn't be out of the question, and depending on the beer, you might go as high as 60. This is the type of stuff I like to leave out on the table when it's cool out at night and I don't have to refrigerate it, because I want it in that 50 degree zone. This would be more of a December, January beer for me, but you guys are already getting the cold, so salud. All right, let's see what has changed. It looks like she's going to lace for us now, at least. That's some nice cling right there. Much better now. All right, so she has opened up in more ways than one. Now when she comes in, she goes full. Now remember, before she just hit the stripe down the center of the soft palate. Now she's full soft palate, intra and extradental, out into the buccals. Still not a whole lot of tongue interaction going on, nothing sublingually, nothing in the lower zone. But she's fuller and richer now. The flavor profile is shifted as well. It's not just bourbon. As a matter of fact, there's so much less bourbon at this point, I don't think I could have told you it was aged in a barrel, but you are now getting that dark chocolate, the dark bitter kind of chocolate. I'm not getting buried under espresso, which is, thank you, Jesus, because there's no reason for coffee to ever be in beer. I don't care what you say. No. When I think toffee, I tend to think sweeter, but she's not really very sweet. Now, I don't know if the toffee balances out that bitter chocolate. It might, because she's not like 90% dark chocolate bitter. More like about a 60. Comes in all over the top. You know what? I am mistaken. That initial hit right up in front does tend to be just a little bit boozy. Does tend to have that bourbon on there. But it progresses through so fast, unless you're looking for it, you're going to kind of miss it. Still interesting. And a really nice flavor profile. Very, very tasty beer. This is a delicious beer. Yeah, nothing else has really changed. It's a little more tongue interaction too, so it's not just the tip. It kind of expands out to the sides. Still good. And she's still a really dirty, dirty girl. There is that bitter on the back end, though. And I don't know if I would call it espresso. Miss Scroozy. I do try to pour all the gas out of these damn things, and it rarely ever works for me. I don't know. Again, I'm going to go with more of a burnt bitter dark chocolate than an espresso. That's just me. So, is she good for the style? Oh, she's really good. She's a really, really nice porter. I like this beer. Would I buy this beer again? Yeah, probably. Would I drink this beer again? Not a doubt in my mind. Would I like to try it on tap? Is there anything I wouldn't tap? Well, now there's, but yes, I would like to try it on tap. If you handed this to me out of the cooler, what would I say? I would say thank you very much, but why the hell do you have this on ice? You should have this at about 53, 55 degrees. Really good beer. So if you are just kicking it out back by the fire, right? You got a little fire ring in your backyard or a gas fire or whatever, and you're sitting out in the chair with your special someone or just your mutts like me. Yeah, you could literally pop this, and it's 4-pack for $15, by the way. It's not a cheap beer. You could literally just put them down by the side of you and drink without refrigeration. Would recommend a glass. And while they said pint or snifter, this is actually a porter and stout glass. So you could always get one of these, and it doubles really well and works nicely for IPAs too. That nose is boozy though, boy. We didn't go Biden time on this, did we? The nose is booze. But there is a sweetness to it, and that might be the toffee. I didn't get the bread. Really. The nose is booze. So the majority of the nose is definitely going to be the bourbon. The barrels they chose were good barrels, though, because whatever bourbon it is, it has worked in conjunction really well with this particular beer. Good for the style, yeah. Interesting flavor profile, yes, definitely. Drinkability, yeah, no problem. I don't know, what do you think? Does she rate 5 stars, or do we 4.75, 5, 4.75, 5, 4.75, 5, 4.75? How much do I really like this beer? Well, you see, but I can't compare it to Sex Panther, because Sex Panther's a double chocolate. But as far as porters go, and we have big old black butts coming up for the next one. And this is better than that. This is a 5, dude. We give this a 5. This is muy drinkable. It's a really good porter. Especially if you like the profile. And again, a lot of times they're going to push the chocolate in these porters because of the way they roast the malts. And they've roasted this one right past chocolate, right into dark bitter chocolate. So if you really like the dark bitter chocolate stuff, you want to go here. I'm not a huge fan of dark bitter chocolate, but works here. Thanks for coming by and putting some eyeballs on here, folks. You know you're my people. You know I love you. You know I always want you to be the big 3. I want you healthy, happy, safe, honorable, dutiful, vigilant, and on a swivel. Gray man. Hot and handy. And we'll catch you on the next one. But until then, my friends, salute.